Hey, Charles here with Rocky Mountain, and today we're going to be rebuilding the power valve on our 2023 KTM 300 XC. This process is going to be similar for any of the current TBI two-stroke dirt bikes from the KTM group. No matter what bike you're working on, you always want to refer to your model-specific service manual for more information, proper procedures, and specs. To get this done, we're going to be using a couple of special tools. So right here we have a timing tool. We're going to be setting the Z measurement. And then right here we've got a tool that holds some of the power valve pieces in place while you loosen and tighten screws. Other than that, we're going to be using 2.5 and 4 millimeter hex T-handles. I've got a 7 millimeter combo wrench and a T25T. Now besides that, I do have a pencil torch because some of those screws do have some high strength thread locker on them. Now you're also going to need some chemicals, so we do have some grease, assembly lube, high strength and medium strength thread locker, high temp gasket maker. We also have contact cleaner and some oven cleaner. To get this thing disassembled, we're going to take our special tool, pull out on that lever just a little bit. We're going to have to rotate this a little more than that. That's going to keep everything from binding on each other while you remove both of these bolts. Now these do have some thread locker on them, but this should be the low strength thread locker. And then I actually have my hand on the other side of the power valve just so that shaft doesn't turn over there. We'll go ahead and remove that bolt. And we're going to take the special tool off. I'm going to remove the lever, and we have the gate. Then on the other side, I'm going to move the gate all the way forward, and then we'll pull it out. For this shaft, we need to heat this screw up. That's going to have the high strength thread locker on it. So remove the screw and that retaining plate. And then the shaft, it might be a little tough to pull out just because it has that O-ring on it. Then we'll do that for the other side as well. So at this point, we can go ahead and remove the exhaust flange. We're going to loosen all these bolts up. We already have two out because we did have that exhaust flange support that we already removed. And then pay attention to the orientation of that spring holder. Now to get the flange off, it does have silicone sealant holding it in place. So you can either gently use a pry bar or use a dead blow mallet, something like that. You should be able to get this off. Now to remove this control flap, to help me out and give me a little leverage, I did thread that bolt back into it. We've got a collar on each side. There's going to be an O-ring underneath, so these might be a little tough to get off. And at this point, we can go ahead and clean everything up. So we're going to be using some contact cleaner to get all of this oil off. And then with the O-rings, we are going to remove those and get them out of the way for when we clean. And our top end kit does come with new O-rings. And then again, if you have some stubborn carbon, you can use some of that oven cleaner. All right, so we're going to clean up the gasket surface for the exhaust flange at the same time. We have some leftover silicone sealant on there we need to clean off. And if you do use oven cleaner on the aluminum parts, again, make sure it's only on for a short period of time and get it thoroughly washed off. All right, now that we have everything cleaned up, we're going to make some inspections to all these parts and make sure they're in good working condition. Now to get these parts inspected, you just want to do a visual inspection on anything that rotates. You're just going to be looking for wear or damage. So we're going to start at the back, look at these control shafts. They're looking good. You might notice on some parts a shiny surface. You can see on this shaft right here, we can see where it rides on its bearing, but it's not grooved out. There's no damage that you can actually feel. So that part is good to reuse. But if you see any visible wear or anything you can feel with your fingernail, you want to get those parts replaced. Then after that, we're going to take a look at the gears. You also want to take a look at pins, things like that as well. And then on this shaft, it has that notch where it lines up with the groove in the actuator. Make sure those aren't worn out. These are looking really good. And then the last thing with inspection, we're going to take this power valve shaft. I'm going to slide this into place. Just make sure those bearings are in good condition. So now that we've looked at our parts and made sure they are good, we're ready for assembly. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on these O-rings, slide those into place, and then I'll apply just a thin film of grease to the shaft of this flap. Then apply a little bit of grease to the bearing sleeves. Okay, next we're going to set the power valve flap into place. From here, we can apply some of that high temp silicone sealant to the exhaust flange and install the hardware. Don't forget that spring bracket. And then we're going to torque those to 8 Newton meters. Next, we have the O-rings for these control shafts. We'll go ahead and grease those up and install them. And then the right side is going to have the R, left will have the L. Go ahead and set those into place. Then we have our retaining plate. We're going to rotate this into position so we can install this screw. I've got a drop of thread locker on there. It's the high strength. Thread that in. We're going to be torquing those to 6 Newton meters. Then we'll do that for the other side as well. All right, next we have these needle bearings. I'm going to apply a little bit of assembly lube to them, and I'm going to lube up those bearing surfaces on this as well. And as you put the control gate into place, you need to make sure you line up the teeth. So as I rotate this up, as long as this cover slides over that pin, you know you did everything correct. Now for the right control gate, it's the same thing, but we've got the notch for the right side. So line that up, but at the same time, you need to make sure the control shaft is in the correct position. It's going to be those very last teeth are what you're going to be lining up. And then before I install my hardware, I am going to rotate this and just verify that everything is working correctly. So we're good on that. Next, we've got the 2 bolts. One of them, that's going to have the washers on it. We're not going to use that bolt yet. We're going to use some medium strength thread locker on here, and I'm not going to tighten the hardware yet. And then for the control flap lever, we're going to make sure that this tab lines up with the groove in the control flap shaft right there. We also have this pin that is going to line up in that control gate. And then this is going to be the bolt with the 2 washers on it. We've got a dab of medium strength thread locker. And then from here we can install our special tool. It's going to hold everything in place while we torque these bolts. We're going to torque them to 8 Newton meters. Okay, we're going to pull the special tool off, and then we're just going to make sure the power valve works and go through the full range of motion here. Okay, now that we have everything put back together, we are ready to take a Z measurement. We're limiting how far that control flap can go down. So we want to make sure it's in the right spot. So the SX and XC models, the 250s and 300s, we're going to take a measurement of 48 millimeters, and we're using the Tusk timing tool to get that done. The XCW models, 250s and 300s, they've got a different measurement. So make sure you are using the correct tool. But we can see this is the Z measurement on the tool. We're going to put the lower end in the exhaust port. Once you catch that on there, you want to make sure you push the control flap so it's all the way closed. So with it like that, you want to make sure the top of the tool sits flush on top of the cylinder. Ours didn't, so we need to make adjustments. We just need to loosen up this jam nut, and we're going to move the adjusting screw, and we're going to change the limit of how far that flap can go down. So I'm just going to adjust that screw until we don't have any play in the tool. Go ahead and tighten down the jam nut. Then we're just going to double check our measurement. So start with it up and press this down. And just for reference, the torque on the jam nut is 3.7 foot-pounds. So make sure it's tightened down, but don't go too crazy with it. So that's it for rebuilding the power valve assembly on the KTM Group 250 and 300 TBI bikes. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments. If you need any parts or special tools for your bike, you can find that stuff on our website by clicking the link in the description below. Orders over $75 ship free. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, we've got top end rebuild videos and even cylinder honing videos. Go check those out. Subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.